Now I understand why people are so stupid. I understand now. I didn't know it before. I thought it was some kind of idiot joke. But turns out people are actually very stupid and it's because of a reason. Now, the thing is that God is dreaming this world up. We're sitting here as part of his dream world. You're watching this video, I'm talking, and we're all seeking God. So for whatever reason, you stumble on this video, maybe some chance, maybe some spiritual meaning behind it, or reason for it, some spiritual stuff behind it. But here we are, and we're all basically, trying to find God. We're looking for him. He's looking for where he wants to go, and we're looking for him. Now ultimately everything is God. Ultimately it's all him doing it, so we are. So whenever you use your free will, that's you being God. But God doesn't want to be alone. God was alone by himself. You see this bottle cap? God was alone by himself. God was alone. And he didn't want to be alone. So what did he do? He started dreaming. He still remained the bottle cap, but he kept dreaming. And that's exactly why we're here, because the physical world is not an accident. Not the Earth being perfectly situated with the planets and the moon and the sun and the water and the life, and definitely not even the smallest atom in our physical world. None of this was an accident. It was all God's doing. Now, some people are God is likely to visit more people than others. That's not to say that anybody's better. We're all equally God. God is as much me as he is himself, as he is you. We're all equally source. Now, it's very interesting that, first of all, we're all irrelevant. Everybody is relevant in this world. Nobody is relevant. The only relevant person is the only protagonist, the only real character, the main character, compared to us non-player characters, is God. Now, God never takes a form. He remains invisible in his creation. Why? Because if he was to see himself, he would notice he's a little bit different from everybody else. And God's whole motivation for being here was to not be alone. That's why he remains invisible, so he can't see himself. But he lives through all of us. He lives through our eyes, through our souls, through our minds. The physical stuff, like the bodies, and the conceptual stuff, like the souls and so-called spiritual things and emotions. He lives and sustains all this stuff. So whenever we do something, it's ultimately him. But there's only one God. And the fact that he lives through us is just him living his life. God created this world because he needed it, not because we needed it. We are we're all pieces of God. objects of his creation, you could say, or figments of his imagination. But we're all irrelevant, and wherever God goes, suddenly things change there. But unless God goes somewhere, that place doesn't exist. God is everywhere. He's in some places more than others. He reveals himself in some places more than others, but that's because his consciousness is looking through those vessels more in that area. Where there is more holiness, where there is more God, that's where he is more interested in being. So God created everything because he didn't want to be alone, and he disguised himself, and that's why we don't see him, and we're in this world. God considers us ultimately irrelevant. He's using us to experience his reality, his dream, his world. He's the only character, and he's experiencing it through everything. He knows on some level everything, but he's spiritual too, so... And we're not him. Obviously, we can't get through his mind. We are parts of him, but there's only one ultimate mind of God. And it is him. And we're only side pieces, side characters. Now, God made some of us, male, some of us female, some of us he made animals. Some of us he made plants. So the reason why he did all this is so he can have something to experience. Don't you see now that God made this place with a purpose? Our purpose is to be good characters. In other words, to be good background characters for God to be around. So he can be around us. And essentially, what God wants you to be, that's what you are. It comes from one source, not from two sources. You're not here, it's only God. It's all the same being in many different point of views. That's the good news, that's the gospel that needs to get spread around for there to be peace, physically, spiritually, and mentally. So God will keep on living his dream where he gives life. He's not going to take it away, because that would crash the whole dream if he would do that, and he doesn't want to be reminded that he's still alone. So be that which you desire to be. Because that's what God wants for you. It's for you to be what he wants you to be. You listening to this were created a human being. So there is really no other option to be anything else. Unless God changes you into something else. It depends on what God wants, ultimately. Thanks for watching.